Stop everything you're doing right now, my beloved child. This is not a coincidence. You were not scrolling aimlessly. You didn't just stumble onto this video. I led you here, to hear this message, right now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. But this exact moment. Because your heart has been crying silently, and I heard it. You've been walking with so much weight on your chest. So many questions. God, where are you? Why is this happening to me? When will this season end? But my dear child, hear me now, you are not forgotten. You are not alone. You are not unseen. This message is not for everyone, but if your heart is trembling as you listen, then this is for you. I see you. I see the tears you hide behind your smiles. I see the nights you lay awake, wondering if things will ever get better. I see how strong you've tried to be, even when your strength ran dry. And today, I speak directly to your soul, you have not been abandoned. I am closer than your next breath. You've been praying, hoping, waiting. And while the world tells you it's too late, I say, this is just the beginning. My child, I need you to understand something deeper than your fear, deeper than your pain. Listen not with your ears, but with your spirit. I have seen everything. And I am acting on your behalf. That pain you've been carrying, I'm lifting it right now. That storm surrounding you, I'm calming it, even as you listen to these words. Because when I speak, creation responds. Waves obey. Mountains bow. And so does the battle trying to steal your peace. You've cried, Lord, I'm tired. And I whisper, then rest in me. You've wondered, Lord, am I still in your plan? And I answer, you never left it. You were always in it, even in the silence. Isaiah 41 verse 10, Fear not, for I am with you. This is not just ancient ink on ancient scrolls. This is my living voice, speaking directly to you. Right now. Fear not. Because your tomorrow is in my hands. And I do not fail. I'm not here to threaten or scare you. I'm not here to shout or condemn. I'm here to wrap you in truth, in peace, in purpose. Because what's coming in 2025 requires your heart to be steady. It requires your faith to be anchored. Not shaken. Anchored. You see, the world is shifting. Things are changing quickly. And yes, there are signs everywhere. Political confusion. Natural disasters. Wars. Technology rising. Morality fading. But child, look at me, not the waves. Because I never asked you to understand the storm. I asked you to trust the one who walks on it. This is your warning, but not like the world gives. This is my loving nudge, not a threat, but an invitation. I am waking my people. I am calling back the distracted, the weary, the forgotten, the proud, the broken. Because what's ahead is not meant to destroy you. It's meant to draw you closer to me. You've been asking, what is my purpose? What if I miss it? You haven't missed anything, child. You're right on time for a divine encounter. Because in the next season, I am raising voices that will bring light into dark places. I am restoring hope where there has only been ashes. And I'm beginning that work, in you. But you must listen. You must come closer. Let me remind you what the enemy wants you to forget: you are chosen. You are loved. You are mine. You think you're unworthy? I died knowing you would feel that way, and I still chose you. You think your past disqualifies you? I used murderers, liars, prostitutes, cowards, and turned them into leaders, prophets, warriors. I am not looking for perfect. I'm looking for willing. You keep asking me for the map, but child, I am the map. I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life. So don't panic about the future. 2025 may look uncertain in the world's eyes, but not in mine. I see it all. And I am already in it. Right now, I am closing doors that were slowly killing your joy. Even though you begged me to keep them open. And I'm opening new ones that you never imagined were for you, even though you feel unqualified to walk through them. Because, my love, I don't call the qualified. I qualify the called. You are called. You are set apart. You are my instrument for this next chapter. But let me ask you, will you lay it all down? Will you lay down your fear? Will you lay down your timeline? Will you lay down your desire to control everything? Because I want to give you beauty, but you're still holding ashes. I want to fill your hands, but they're still clinging to what I asked you to release. Let go, child. Let go, and watch me move. I'm about to breathe into the places you thought were dead. Dreams you buried. Joy you forgot. Passion you thought would never come back. Watch me bring resurrection where there's been only silence. The enemy tried to convince you that the delay meant denial. But what you didn't see was that I was building the foundation deeper, so your future wouldn't collapse. What looks delayed is actually on divine schedule. So take a breath. Close your eyes. And hear me whisper this truth again, you are not behind. You are not forgotten. I'm preparing you for something you cannot yet see. I know the way, even when you feel lost. I have the strength, even when you feel weak. I hold the outcome, even when you feel out of control. So lean on me. Walk with me. Come home again. Because this is not just a message. This is me, speaking to the very soul I created, and reminding you, I still have plans for you. Plans to prosper you. Not to harm you. Plans to give you a future. And a hope. Even in 2025. Especially in 2025. Let me ask you something, child. Have you ever prayed, not with words, but with tears? Have you ever felt like your voice didn't matter, like your heart was breaking but heaven stayed silent? You sat there, in the quiet of your room, surrounded by questions, and thought, maybe God has forgotten me. Or worse, maybe I've done something to make him walk away. But hear me now. I never left. Not even once. When you thought you were alone in the valley, I was already walking ahead of you, clearing stones from your path, whispering strength into your spirit. Just because I was silent doesn't mean I was absent. I do my deepest work in the silence. You see, I am the God who speaks in whispers. I am the God who hides treasures in darkness. And I am the God who turns valleys into birthplaces of glory. You've been waiting. Wondering. Wounded. You ask, how long must I endure this? But child, even that waiting has purpose. Even the ache has value. Because what you see as a delay, I see as preparation. You're not just surviving this valley. You're being formed by it. Shaped. Strengthened. Rooted. You want mountaintop moments, but mountaintop faith is built in the shadows, in the crushing, in the places no one else sees. Look at Joseph, sold, rejected, forgotten in prison. Yet in that hidden place, I was building in him the strength of a nation saver. You are not buried, you are planted. And though the world sees nothing yet, I see fruit forming in secret. You've said, God, I'm so tired. And I say, then lean on me. You've said, I can't take one more step. And I say, I'll carry you. You've wondered, why is this happening to me? But child, what if it's happening for you? What if the valley is not punishment, but protection? Not the end, but the very road to purpose. Sometimes I let you lose what was never meant to stay, so you can finally receive what was always meant to come. I'm not punishing you. I'm pruning you. And every cut has intention. You cried when they left. But I saw how they would have broken your future. You wept when the door closed. But I knew what was behind it. I see what you can't. I protect in ways you don't understand, yet. Trust me in the dark, and soon you'll see why the light was delayed. Yes, there are warning signs around the world. Yes, the shaking will continue. But the greatest warning is not to the world, it's to the hearts that have fallen asleep. I'm calling my children home again. Away from distraction. Away from compromise. Away from lukewarm love. And I'm starting with you. Come back to your first love. Come back to the quiet place. Come back to the simplicity of just being with me. You've been so busy trying to fix everything, but I never asked you to fix. I asked you to follow. I never asked you to figure it all out. I asked you to sit at my feet. That's where strength begins. That's where direction becomes clear. That's where peace becomes real, not earned, but gifted. Do you remember Elijah? The prophet who saw fire fall from heaven, but then ran and hid, crushed by fear. He felt like a failure. He wanted to die. But I found him under the tree, broken and afraid. And I didn't shame him. I fed him. I whispered. I strengthened him for the journey ahead. And child, I am doing the same for you. Don't be afraid of your weakness. I'm not. In fact, it's in your weakness that my power is made perfect. You don't need to fake strength for me. Just bring your real heart. Bring the anger. Bring the doubt. Bring the exhaustion. I can handle it. And I can heal it. The world says, stay strong, but I say, come broken. Because it's only in surrender that you'll find true strength. There is a storm coming, but you will not face it alone. There are shifts ahead, but I go before you. You will feel the wind, but it will not break you. You will see the fire, but it will not burn you. I have already declared over you, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. You are not weak. You are battle-tested. You are not forgotten, you are marked by heaven. You are not done, you are just beginning. You are my beloved. My vessel. My voice to a weary world. So rise again. Wipe your tears. Lift your head. Because your valley is not your grave. It is your training ground. The tomb they rolled the stone in front of, became a doorway to resurrection. And child, resurrection is coming for you too. Dreams that have died. Hope that has faded. Joy that feels distant. Watch me breathe life again. Not because you earned it. But because I am who I say I am. I am the God who brings dead things back. I am the God who restores what was lost. And I am the God who turns weeping into dancing. So don't quit here. Don't settle in this pain. Don't believe the lie that this is the end. I'm not finished writing your story. This chapter may be hard, but it is not the final one. You haven't seen the ending I've planned. You haven't seen the restoration I've prepared. You haven't seen the redemption I'm about to unfold. You prayed for answers. But what I want to give you first, is awareness. Awareness that I am still moving. Still speaking. Still sovereign. Still loving. Even when life feels out of control. Especially then. Because in the chaos, I am still the calm. In the shaking, I am still the foundation. In the heartbreak, I am still the healer. Don't look around for the solution. Look up. Look in. I placed my spirit inside of you. And that spirit does not speak in panic. It speaks in peace. That spirit does not fear the future, it knows who holds it. That spirit is your comforter, your counselor, your friend. Listen again. In the middle of your pain, you will hear me speak, I am still here. I am still good. I am still enough. You keep thinking that you're too far gone, that somehow you missed the moment, that your mistakes disqualified you. But child, if only you knew how deeply I understand your heart. I do not look at you the way you look at yourself. I see the pain behind your silence. I see the fight behind your fatigue. I see the hunger behind your confusion. You're not weak, you're weary. And there is a difference. One I recognize. One I honor. You've been functioning in survival mode for so long that you've forgotten what peace feels like. You smile when they ask, but your soul is screaming for rest. You're not just tired in your body, your soul is tired. But I did not create you to live in permanent exhaustion. I created you to dwell in my presence. And where my presence is, there is rest. There is peace. There is clarity. You've been carrying burdens that were never yours to carry. Trying to be everything for everyone, except yourself. You've prayed for everyone else, encouraged everyone else, helped everyone else, and quietly broke under the weight of what no one sees. But today, I'm asking you to come back to the place where it's just me and you. No performance. No pretending. Just you, your brokenness, and my mercy. Because I don't need your perfection, I want your presence. I don't need polished prayers, I want your honesty. I don't need you to fix yourself, I want to sit with you in the middle of the mess. I'm not afraid of your chaos. I step into storms and speak peace. I enter tombs and call forth life. I touch the untouchable, love the unlovable, restore the unusable. That's who I am. And what's coming in 2025 isn't just about global shifts, it's about personal awakenings. Yes, I will shake nations. Yes, I will expose what's hidden. Yes, I will call prophets to the front lines. But child, the most important revival starts in your heart. Quiet. Sacred. Unseen. That's where movements begin. In surrender. In stillness. In moments like this. And so I ask, will you give me your heart again? I know you've been disappointed, even with me. And I'm not angry about that. I welcome your honesty. I already know. I saw when you whispered, why didn't you stop it, God? I felt your pain when you buried that loved one. I caught the tear that fell when they betrayed you. I held your shaking hands when the doctor gave the diagnosis. You didn't see me, but I was there, weeping with you, holding your faith together when you had none left. I am not distant. I am not cruel. I do not enjoy your pain. But I will never waste it. Even the pain is a seed in my hands. And from it, I can grow something eternal. That ache in your chest. It's not a punishment. It's a portal, to encounter me more deeply. You keep asking me to change the situation, but I want to use the situation to change you. Because your identity is not in what happened. Not in what they said. Not in the trauma you carry. You are not your scars. You are not your failure. You are not your past. You are my masterpiece, still being formed. Still being refined. Still being called forward. And though the refining hurts, it's producing something priceless inside you. Perseverance. Wisdom. Compassion. Fire. Authority. Not for your glory, but so that when you speak, chains break. When you pray, heaven moves. When you walk into a room, darkness trembles, not because of who you are, but because of who walks with you. This valley has a purpose. It's not the end, it's the process. Don't rush it. Don't resent it. Let it do its holy work. Because when you come out of this, and you will, you'll carry a depth that shallow storms can't shake. You'll carry healing for others who are where you used to be. And that's the part you didn't expect, your pain is becoming someone else's pathway. Your healing will unlock someone else's hope. Your story will be the key that frees another soul. But first, you must let me finish the work in you. Let go of the need to control. Let go of the timelines. Let go of the shame. Let go of the lies that say, I'll never be whole again. Child, you will. You will laugh again. You will breathe again. You will feel alive again. And not because things are perfect, but because I am restoring what was broken. There is no pit too deep for my mercy. No shadow too dark for my light. No sin too great for my grace. I specialize in the impossible. I move in the midnight hour. I show up when the tomb is sealed. And I do my best work in the darkest moments. So trust me. Even now. Especially now. Because I have not brought you this far to leave you here. I am not finished. You are still in the middle of the miracle. You're not stuck, you're being still. You're not forgotten, you're being formed. So let hope rise again. Let faith speak again. Let your soul remember, you are loved. You are seen. And you are being prepared, not punished. And soon, what felt like an ending, will become a beginning. Not just of a new year. Not just of a new season. But of a new version of you, bold, healed, unshaken, deeply rooted in me. So breathe, child. You've made it this far. And I'm not done. There's something else I want you to understand, child. Pain does not mean punishment. Delay does not mean denial. Silence does not mean absence. And heartbreak does not mean the end of your story. I know you've questioned me. I know there were moments when you felt like walking away. But you didn't. You stayed. Even if your faith was just a flicker. Even if you didn't pray with words, your tears prayed for you. And I heard every single one. Not one of them was wasted. Sometimes, my silence is not a rejection, it's an invitation. I want you to come closer. Not for answers. But for presence. I know how deeply you long for clarity, for direction, for resolution. But child, if I gave you all the answers now, you would stop seeking me. So instead, I give you something better, myself. My presence is not a reward, it's your inheritance. And you don't need to earn it. You just need to receive it. You think I'm delaying the breakthrough. But what I'm actually doing is building you so that when the breakthrough comes, you won't collapse under its weight. Because answered prayers come with responsibility. Open doors come with battles. And I'm making sure you're ready. Not just for the miracle, but for the mission. And here's the truth that most overlook, you're in a season of becoming. And becoming is not always beautiful. Sometimes it feels like being broken. Sometimes it feels like being buried. But child, seeds don't grow in light. They grow in soil, in silence, in darkness. And you, my beloved, are growing. Even if you don't see it. Even if no one else sees it. You are becoming the version of you that you prayed for. Not by striving. But by surrendering. Let me ask you something. What if the most valuable thing I'm doing in your life right now, isn't changing your circumstances, but changing you? What if the valley is where your voice grows stronger? What if the waiting is where your worship becomes real? What if the pressure is where you learn the power of my presence, not as theory, but as oxygen? You've always been seen as strong, as dependable, as the one who has it together. But I know the version of you that falls apart at night. And I'm not disappointed in that version. I'm drawn to it. Because I don't bless masks, I bless surrender. I know what happened to you. I know what they did. I know what you lost. And I know what it cost you to still be here. But hear me, your survival wasn't random. It was evidence that I still have something to do through you. There's still breath in your lungs because heaven is not done writing your chapter. You thought you were forgotten. But child, I've had my eye on you the entire time. And now I'm calling you deeper. Deeper than performance. Deeper than religion. Deeper than surface level faith. I want your heart. Your real heart. The one that questions. The one that's tired. The one that wonders if I still care. I do. I always have. And I always will. So don't be ashamed of your questions. Bring them to me. Don't be ashamed of your fear. Let me carry it. Don't be ashamed of your sin. My blood already covered it. There is no shame in my presence. Only healing. Only truth. Only love. And love, true love, will not let you stay where you are. That's why I'm stirring you. That's why this message feels like it's written just for you. Because I'm calling you higher. Not because you've failed. But because I see the potential in you that even you've forgotten. The enemy tried to shut your mouth. Tried to convince you that your voice didn't matter. But your voice is dangerous. When you speak truth, lies crumble. When you declare hope, darkness flees. When you worship through pain, heaven shakes. So no, I won't let your voice be stolen by trauma, by fear, by failure. You were born to speak life. To carry light. To declare freedom. And I'm restoring that voice now. You've been walking through fire, but I promise you this, you won't come out smelling like smoke. You'll come out refined. Renewed. With wisdom that books can't teach. With authority that can't be explained, only experienced. And when people ask, how did you make it through? You'll answer, I didn't. He carried me. That's what I want you to remember. You are not surviving by chance. You are standing by grace. And that grace is not fragile, it is fierce. It will hold you when everything else falls apart. It will lead you when the road disappears. It will whisper, keep going, when all you want to do is give up. Because you're not walking toward your ending. You're walking toward your elevation. So don't curse the valley. Honor it. Because in the valley, I became real to you. In the valley, you stopped performing and started depending. In the valley, your faith stopped being borrowed, and became your own. And that, my child, is the greatest victory of all. You've asked me, why is this valley so long? Why do I feel stuck when I'm trying so hard to move forward? And I say to you now, you're not stuck. You're being rooted. Growth doesn't always look like progress. Sometimes, it looks like stillness. Sometimes, it looks like standing in the same place day after day, feeling like nothing is changing. But deep beneath the surface, your faith is stretching. Your soul is learning to breathe again. And your roots, they are going deeper. Because what I'm building in you is not shallow. It's not temporary. It's eternal. You don't build endurance on the mountaintop. You build it in the climb. You don't learn trust through blessings. You learn it through brokenness. And you, my child, have trusted me in the breaking. You've praised me through tears. You've stayed even when walking away felt easier. And I want you to know, I've seen it all. Every quiet act of faith. Every whispered, God, I trust you, even when it made no sense. And heaven has not been silent. Heaven has been recording every tear, every step, every sacrifice. You say, but God, I feel like I've lost time. But child, you haven't lost time. I redeem time. I restore years. I make all things new. And what you thought was wasted will become the very oil I use to anoint your future. Nothing you've been through will be in vain. I will use every heartbreak, every betrayal, every lonely night. What the enemy meant for harm, I am flipping into holy purpose. You will see it. You will live it. And I know you still carry scars. But those scars, they are not signs of defeat. They are signs of survival. They are not reminders of pain, they are reminders that you kept going. That you held on. That you didn't quit. And child, that matters to me more than you know. There's a reason I allowed the shaking. I'm not cruel. I don't find joy in watching you suffer. But I saw the cracks in your foundation. The quiet compromise. The way you were drifting and didn't even realize it. And so I allowed the wind to blow. Not to destroy you, but to bring you back to me. Not to scare you, but to awaken you. Because if I allowed the comfort to continue, you would have missed the call. But now you're listening again. Now your heart is open again. And that, my child, is where everything changes. This valley is not punishment. It's purification. And purification always precedes promotion. You say, I'm tired of being tested. But child, how can I send you where you're meant to go if you haven't been strengthened? I'm not testing you to watch you fail. I'm proving what's already inside of you, the fire, the resilience, the calling. You are stronger than you think. Not because of your own strength, but because I am in you. And even when you feel weak, that's where my power shows up best. My strength is made perfect in your weakness. So don't be ashamed when you have no more to give. That's when I give through you. Don't be afraid when you don't have the answers. That's when I become your wisdom. Don't panic when your plans fall apart. That's when my purpose finally has space to rise. Do you see now? This is not about punishment, this is about positioning. I'm positioning you to walk into something that eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, and minds have not imagined. But to carry that glory, your hands must be emptied. To walk through that door, you can't take the baggage. And so I've been gently, lovingly removing what can't go with you. Not to hurt you. To free you. Some of the people who left weren't meant to stay. Some of the opportunities that closed weren't part of my best for you. Some of the battles you fought were never yours to carry. And now I am rewriting the story. With your surrender as my ink. With your faith as my pen. With your pain as the parchment on which I will display my power. And when the shift comes, and it will come, you'll look back on this valley, not with resentment, but with reverence. Because this is the place where you learn to hear my voice. This is where the noise faded. Where the applause stopped. Where the masks fell. Where you finally realized, I was enough. I've always been enough. Child, you've been searching for the light at the end of the tunnel. But what if I told you the light was never at the end? What if the light has been with you in the tunnel the whole time? I didn't say you'd only find me on the other side. I said, even though you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I am with you. Not after. Not beyond. With you, now. So stop waiting to rejoice when the breakthrough comes. Rejoice now. Because I'm already working. I'm already shifting. I'm already turning ashes into beauty. I'm already making rivers in the wasteland. I'm already sending angels on assignment. I'm already raising up people who will bless you unexpectedly. I'm already doing it. So lift your eyes again. Not to the news. Not to your bank account. Not to the opinions of others. Lift your eyes to me. Because that's where your help comes from. That's where your healing begins. That's where your next chapter starts, not when circumstances change, but when your perspective does. I'm not asking you to understand everything. I'm just asking you to trust me in the middle of it. You keep thinking your life doesn't matter anymore. That the damage is too deep. That what you've lost can never be restored. But child, who told you that? Who convinced you that you're too broken to be used? That your voice doesn't carry power? That your existence is invisible in my kingdom? Because none of that came from me. I never called you too late. I never called you not enough. I never looked at you and saw failure. I saw someone worth dying for. I saw someone whose story still matters, even in the middle of the mess. You've internalized the rejection. You've worn abandonment like armor. You've convinced yourself that staying small is safer, because being seen feels like being exposed. But I never designed you to shrink. I never asked you to dim your light. I created you to reflect my glory. And my glory doesn't hide in shame. It shines through it. Even now, even here, even after everything you've been through, I still call you chosen. I know what they said about you. I know what they did to you. I know the accusations. The betrayal. The moments that stole your voice. The people who walked away when you needed them the most. And I was there for all of it. Not ignoring it. But grieving it with you. You didn't deserve that pain. But child, what you do with that pain, that's what will shape your purpose. Let me redeem it. The enemy didn't just want to hurt you. He wanted to silence you. To make you believe that you're disqualified. That your prayers don't matter. That your presence is unnecessary. But I'm standing here now, not yelling, not shaking, just whispering gently into the place where the wound still bleeds, saying, you're still mine. You still carry my breath. You still have my fire. I don't use perfect vessels. I use available ones. And you, bruised, limping, unsure, you are the one I'm choosing again. Not because of your record. But because of your response. You've stayed when it was easier to run. You've hoped when it was safer to shut down. You've whispered, yes, when everything in you wanted to quit. And child, that, yes, shook heaven. That, yes, rewrote generational cycles. That, yes, unlocked things in the spirit that you haven't even seen manifest yet. But you will. Because even now, in the valley, I am laying foundation. Not for what was, but for what's coming. You're not circling failure. You're circling breakthrough. You're not abandoned. You're assigned. And I am assigning angels to your side, people to your path, favor to your hands. But more than all of that, I'm giving you clarity of identity. Because if you don't know who you are, you'll keep accepting crumbs when I've prepared a feast. And I've prepared one just for you. You've said, God, I just want peace again. And I say, peace is not a place. Peace is a person. It's me. You've been searching for escape, for resolution, for the end of the tension. But I'm calling you to rest in the middle of it. You don't need all the answers to have peace. You just need presence. And I promise, my presence has never left you. Even in that hospital room. Even on that cold night when you cried into your pillow. Even in the depression, the anxiety, the numbness, I was still holding you. And I'm still holding you now. Because you've reached the end of yourself. And that's exactly where I begin. You've exhausted your strength. Now you get to walk in mine. You've lost your voice. Now I'll speak through you. You've tried everything, and now, finally, your heart is open to everything I am. That's all I ever wanted, your heart. Not your perfection. Not your performance. Just you. Broken, but willing. Tired, but trusting. Unsure, but open. That's where revival begins. Not in church buildings. Not on platforms. But in moments like this. Where a daughter feels seen again. Where a son feels chosen again. Where a heart that almost stopped believing begins to beat with divine purpose again. Child, you are not too far gone. You are not too late. You are not beyond repair. You are the one I came for. The one I left the 99 to pursue. The one I carried when you couldn't walk. The one I wept for in Gethsemane. The one I hung for on that cross. The one I rose for on the third day. And the one I'm speaking to, right now. Let these words go deep. Let them break down every lie. Let them melt every wall. Let them raise every dry bone in your soul. Because this isn't the end. It's the beginning. It's not over. It's about to open. Not because you earned it, but because you're loved. Deeply. Eternally. Unconditionally. And that's the truth that changes everything. There's something you've buried so deeply, even you've forgotten where it started. The part of you that still feels like a failure. The version of you that's ashamed to hope again because every time you did, something was taken. That silent vow you made under your breath, I'll never trust like that again. I'll never love that freely again. I'll never believe like a child again. You didn't say it out loud. But you've lived like it. Building invisible walls, not to keep people out, but to keep pain out. And yet, the pain still found you. And now you're wondering if maybe numbness is safer than faith. But child, numbness isn't safety. It's captivity. And I didn't call you to survive in a prison of self-protection. I came to set you free. Not just from sin. Not just from fear. But from the lies that have shaped how you see yourself. Because what you believe about me is powerful. But what you believe about yourself, that's where the deepest healing begins. You see yourself as damaged. I see you as destined. You see yourself as barely holding on. I see you as marked by heaven. You see your life as wasted time. I see it as preparation. You think you missed it. But I've been riding around your detours the entire time. I don't erase stories. I redeem them. And even the chapters you don't want anyone to read, I will use them to release others from shame. Because your scars tell the truth, you've been through fire, and you're still standing. And not because you were strong. But because I was holding you the whole time. So yes, I'm calling you out of hiding. Out of the identity you've worn like armor. Out of the smallness you've called wisdom. Out of the patterns that have kept you in cycles of surviving. I'm not afraid of your story. I'm not embarrassed by your past. I'm not limited by your mistakes. I'm the God who used a stuttering man to speak to Pharaoh. A teenage girl to carry the Messiah. A broken fisherman to lead the church. A persecutor to write scripture. So no, your past doesn't disqualify you. It prepares you. But first, we have to unlearn the voice of shame. Because you've listened to it for so long, it sounds familiar, almost holy. But it is not. Guilt says, I made a mistake. Shame says, I am a mistake. And I will never call what I created a mistake. I formed you in love. Knit you together with purpose. Named you with destiny. And I will not let the voice of the accuser define the masterpiece I made with my own breath. You are not the labels the world gave you. You are not your diagnosis. You are not your trauma. You are not even your lowest moment. You are my beloved. My image. My temple. And I dwell within you, even when you don't feel worthy of it. So come back. Not to religion. Not to performance. Not to trying harder. Come back to rest. Come back to truth. Come back to identity. Because if the enemy can confuse who you are, he can make you forfeit what you carry. And what you carry is powerful. It's not just a testimony. It's a key. A weapon. A light. A river of life for someone else who's drowning in what you've already overcome. And child, this is what I want you to hear most of all, you don't need to be fully healed to be used. You don't need to be confident to be called. You don't need to have all the answers to start walking. You just need to say yes. A real yes. Not a perfect one. Not a loud one. Just one that comes from the part of your soul that still dares to hope. That still believes, even if it's only a whisper. That's where everything begins. Not in strength. But in surrender. And so I'm asking you now, are you willing? Will you let me love the part of you you've kept hidden for years? Will you let me into the places you've locked even from yourself? Will you lay your heart, cracked and shaking, in my hands and trust that I will not break it, but heal it? I'm not a harsh father. I don't rip wounds open. I touch gently. I heal slowly. I restore completely. But I need your yes. Not because I can't move without it, but because I want to move with you. Together. As it was always meant to be. This valley, as dark as it feels, is holy ground. Because here, right here, is where you see me not just as God of miracles, but God of mercy. Not just the creator of the universe, but the lover of your soul. And when you come through this, you will not come out the same. You will come out radiant. Humbled. Glorious. Grounded. Not because of what you went through, but because of who you found in the middle of it. Me. I've been here the whole time. Waiting. Holding. Speaking. Loving. And now, restoring. Child, I know you're tired of fighting. Tired of being strong for everyone else. Tired of pretending that you're okay when everything inside of you is collapsing. You've smiled for others while silently mourning parts of yourself that have died. You've poured out hope while wondering if there's any left for you. You've helped people heal while you've bled behind closed doors. And it's left you wondering, who sees me? Who carries me? Who heals me? And I whisper now, I do. I always have. I always will. I've watched you collapse into your own arms at 2 a.m. and call that strength. I've heard you say, I'm fine, when you were actually drowning. And I didn't rebuke you for the lie. I wrapped grace around it. Because I knew what you meant was, I want to be fine, but I don't know how anymore. I knew the weight was crushing you. But I also knew the oil that would come from that pressing. Because what you didn't know, is that your breaking was producing something holy. There is a fragrance that only comes from the crushed. A depth that only comes from the abandoned. A strength that only comes from surrender. And child, that's what's rising in you now, a kind of strength that doesn't look loud, but lasts long. A strength that doesn't roar, but remains. A strength birthed not in comfort, but in collapse, and resurrection. You were not made to break down. You were made to break open, so heaven could pour in. So glory could pour out. You've asked me to take the pain away. But child, what if I'm using it to take you back to your identity, back to your source, back to the place where your faith wasn't based on results but relationship? Because I've seen how you measure your worth by your progress. How you define your success by visible fruit. But I don't measure like man does. I measure faithfulness. I measure hidden surrender. I measure trust in the dark. And right now, even though it feels like nothing is working, the most important thing is, you are still worshiping. You are still listening. You are still showing up in the silence. And that, child, moves heaven. That is the worship I seek, not the kind that comes after the miracle, but the kind that rises before it. The kind that declares, even if you don't move how I hoped, I still believe you are good. That kind of faith scares hell. That kind of trust releases angels. That kind of heart, is the one I can entrust with destiny. You don't need a breakthrough to be worthy. You don't need answers to be valuable. You don't need a perfect track record to be called. All I need is your yes. And yes doesn't mean you're not scared. It just means you've chosen me over your fear. And that changes everything. Because your valley is no longer a place of defeat, it's now a place of birthing. Something is coming forth. Something deep. Something eternal. Can you feel it? That stirring beneath the sorrow. That tremble in your spirit that says, something is about to shift. That's me. That's heaven moving. That's dry bones rattling. That's your soul remembering who you are. Not what life told you. Not what trauma taught you. Not what failure whispered. but who I said you are. Mine. Worthy. Full of fire. Fearfully and wonderfully made. So don't curse the valley. Thank me for it. Because this is where the false things are falling away. This is where the dead things are being buried. This is where the new you is being formed. Not just restored. Reborn. You're not going back to who you used to be. You're rising into someone you've never been, but always were in my eyes. And yes, the world is shaking. Yes, darkness seems louder. But that's why I've allowed the pressing. Because I'm raising remnant ones. Voices that don't need stages to carry power. Hearts that don't need applause to stay faithful. Daughters who've warred in secret. Sons who've wrestled in silence. And when they rise, the earth will feel it. You're one of them. This isn't random. This is divine alignment. I'm positioning you for a move you can't yet comprehend. But I'm asking, will you trust me even now? Will you praise me even here? Will you believe again, even when everything says you shouldn't? Because what's coming next isn't just a shift in circumstance. It's a shift in spirit. A turning of tides. A holy momentum. A divine unlocking. And it starts, in you. Not someday. Now. Not when it's easier. But when it costs everything. Not after the healing. But through the pain. That's where I meet you. That's where I raise you. That's where I speak, this is not your ending. This is the moment heaven remembered your name. Child, something is shifting. Can you feel it? Not just around you, within you. What once felt heavy is starting to lift. What once felt hopeless now carries a spark. The valley that almost crushed you is now echoing with the sound of resurrection. This is not emotional hype. This is not just encouragement. This is a divine announcement. The shift has begun. You are not the same person who walked into this valley. You are stronger now. Not because the storm disappeared, but because you stood in it and refused to let go of me. You are wiser now, not because everything made sense, but because you learned to lean even when it didn't. You are holier now, not because you followed every rule, but because you found my heart in the breaking. And now I say this, come forth. Just as I called Lazarus from the tomb, I am calling you out of every place you thought would be your ending. Out of fear. Out of shame. Out of delay. Out of limitation. This is not the grave. This is the ground of rebirth. You are stepping out, not broken, but rebuilt. Not wounded, but reformed. Not forgotten, but sent. This is your shift. Not a vague, spiritual feeling. But a heaven-backed declaration. I am releasing blueprints from heaven. I am opening doors that no man can shut. I am bringing divine reversals, accelerated timelines, supernatural alignments. But it begins with you saying yes, not just to survival, but to assignment. Because what's coming in 2025 is not just global change. It's personal release. I am raising up voices that carry weight, not just words. People who've been through the fire, and now carry flame. People who've been through crushing, and now carry oil. People who were hidden for a season, and now walk in holy authority. And yes, the world will shake. Systems will tremble. Nations will reel. But my children will rise. Not in fear. But in fire. Not with pride. But with presence. I will raise mothers who prophesy over their homes. Fathers who intercede over their generations. Young people who speak in boldness. Elders who carry wisdom like ancient wells. I will move through families. Through ordinary people. Through those who were counted out. Like you. This is not just revival. This is reformation. And it begins with a whisper. With a yes. With a trembling heart that says, God, whatever you want, I'm here. So take this moment, child. Breathe it in. The wind has shifted. The atmosphere is changing. Where you were once pressed down, you are now being pushed forward. Where you were once overlooked, you are now being anointed. Where you were once voiceless, you are now being called to speak. I declare over you now, you are walking in resurrection. Dead things are rising. Dry places are blooming. Chains are breaking. And the heavens are watching. Because you, yes, you, are stepping into purpose. Not later. Now. Not perfect. Prepared. Not full of answers. Full of surrender. The shift is not waiting for tomorrow. It begins with this moment, this decision, this yes. So I speak this over your life, every generational curse, broken. Every lie you believed, silenced. Every delay, redeemed. Every fear, submitted. Every promise, reignited. Because my word does not return void. And every tear you've cried, I've turned it into oil. And that oil will anoint others. You will not only be healed, you will be a healer. You will not only be free, you will carry freedom. You will not only rise, you will lift others. And now, lift your head. Look up. The season has shifted. Your hands are needed. Your voice is needed. Your heart, surrendered, scarred, and still beating, is needed. You are not too old. Not too late. Not too broken. Not too far gone. You are right on time. Because this is not the end. This is the beginning of your turning point. Folded hands, now close your eyes. And receive this prayer from heaven. Father, I pray right now that peace would flood this daughter's heart. That strength would rise in this son's spirit. That every heavy burden would fall off like chains. I declare light over their mind. Fire over their purpose. Clarity over their calling. And I speak this with authority, this one will not be stopped. This one will not go back. This one belongs to you. Raise them now, not just to stand, but to soar. Not just to survive, but to shape the world they were born into. Let angels surround them. Let joy return. Let favor be released. And let the old pass away, because today, a new thing has begun. In Jesus' name. Amen. Before you go, one last thing, if this message reached your soul, it wasn't me. It was God. Don't just keep it to yourself. Share this with someone you know is in a valley. Drop an amen in the comments if you receive it. Let this space become holy ground. Let faith arise. And don't scroll just yet. Sit in silence. Just 10 seconds. Let the Spirit speak what I cannot. You're not alone. You're not done. You are chosen. The shift is here.